Hello and welcome to GIO Stadium for some Monday night football in a clash of, I won't say the Titans, I'll say two very strong teams that haven't quite performed this season. We have the Sydney Roosters, of course, languishing at the bottom of the ladder up against the Canberra Raiders, who are pushing for a top eight spot in these final weeks. They started slow, but they've got a bit of momentum eventually. I am Snicko Bro, and I'm joined in the commentary box by the one and only AMAC. AMAC, talk to me. What do you have for this game?
I'm looking forward to this game, Snicko. Both of these teams are desperate to get some form on. The Raiders could be a sneaky to get into the 8 if they can keep their winning form going. The Roosters trying desperately to stay off the bottom of the table.
Yeah, no one wants a wooden spoon. We all know that, and that's what the Roosters are facing at the moment. I think that they have a good team. They just haven't quite had results fall in their way, a bit like the Penrith Panthers. We're also lucky enough to have a commissioner on the field as a referee. Sonny Tai blows the whistle. And the other commissioner, Will Kay, is on the sideline for us. And Will, what are the conditions like down there?
Yeah, the conditions, it's a nice cold night in Canberra, but it's pretty clear in the sky. No rain anywhere in sight. So it's going to be a bit of a crisp one. It's going to be, the Stingers are going to hurt tonight, but the fans, they are here because this is about as good as weather gets in Canberra.
And I hear that you're right next to one of our Raiders debutants, Liam Schrodinger. Anything from him that he wants to add before he gets on field?
No, he's just ready to rip in, show why he is in fact existing. He is very, very excited tonight as he makes his SRL debut.
Is he existing or non-existing?
Well, I can see him. He's observed, so at the moment he's definitely here.
Schrodinger, of course, one of the Raiders devs players, is about to take his spot as Charlie Butler. Roosters getting inventive on play one. Brad Goodwin straight up the guts after a pretty good set from the Raiders. AMAC, Roosters have a few changes. Matt Harris is back to the 11. One of the Punch brothers is in the 12. They switched as they were last week. And Charlie Butler stays in the 9 instead of playing in the halves where he made Origin last season. Do you think this is a winning combination?
Personally, I don't think so. I think Charlie Butler was really good in the halves. And, lovely kick there from Goodwin. Just not the angle. But back to what I was saying, I think Matty Harris is a little bit looking forward to next season now, trying out some combinations and seeing what's going to work for season 9.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the SRL. There is always next season. And yeah, I think you're right. I think that's where the Roosters are looking at the moment. They have a rookie in the halves. He'll only get better as Brian gets his first line breaks of the game. And yeah, our vice captain Blair Curtin in the 6, also very handy at the hooker. So potentially there for Charlie Butler to get back where I think he belongs. And it was Matt Harris who picked him in Origin last year in the half. So obviously he thinks he can do an all right job there as well. But for the moment, he's in a hooker. Whereas the Raiders, they come in pretty settled. Of course, Schrodinger, on debut. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Liam, but that's as good as we're going to get today. On debut, apart from that, pretty settled. I think Charlie Rosini is missing this game for some reasons that the Raiders outlined in a press conference. But apart from that, pretty settled from them. And I think that they started 9-4. They've come good at the moment. And actually, they're pretty close to you guys, AMAC, in terms of this week's a bit of a real big moving week.
Yeah, if we lose and they win, they leapfrog us. So it's going to be a very interesting game here for the Raiders to see if they can, as I said, almost touch the 8 if they win tonight.
And have you played yet, or are you yet to play this week?
We played last game, so
so the viewers at home, will know what that means.
Yeah, and they know the stakes, they know the risks.
Yeah, of course, and it's the Raiders on attack now. Justice Daly takes the hit up. Kavau is now going to look to push over. He's in the 12 as well, so he's lining up directly against Matt Harris, 2 Season 1 veterans there. Now Tim Jane goes to Thompson. I thought that was going to be a little short ball. Not a lot thrown at the Roosters defense here. The Bondi ball holding strong, but there's going to be a last tackle kick here to see what happens. It goes to Alan Berkeley, and he puts up the bomb. I think that's Ethan Goodwin underneath it. He takes that pretty comfortably in the end.
Yeah, that was pretty good from Ethan Goodwin. He's been great. Great value over there on the wing since he's come over to the Roosters mid-season. I wonder if he'll be moving over to fullback halfway through, as he has the last couple of games.
Yeah, I'd almost be tempted to start him at fullback. I know that Marshall Edwards has his moments. He's not a bad player himself, but I think Ethan Goodwin, the mid-season trade, could really spark this game if he was at fullback permanently. Just on the winger, as you all know, it's a fickle beast if you're going to get any touches. And It feels like he just sits out there for 40 minutes, barely touching the ball before he lights up at fullback. As Goodwin throws an intercept to Wally Allen, the Raiders second rower. He might be picked for Australia to end the year, or he might get picked for the EU. I guess we'll find out. As now Cheddar gets the offload. So both teams, as is a bit typical of the lower ladder teams as the season goes on, they start to throw the ball around a bit. And we see some good footy as Lewis. I thought for sure that player was offside. But the referees don't agree with me. Sonny Attaya with his eyes painted on. Now Luke Thompson goes out to Eli Barnes, and he's unable to break a tackle. Great cover defence there. Matt Harris ends up on the ground, but the other player gets him. Now Tim James goes to Dane Blaine, go back inside to Berkeley. He's tackled on the 4, so he's out of kicking duties. But I think that's Luke Thompson who's snuck in there for the big punt. And that's where, it's Jordan Lewis, sorry, that they go to. Is that going to be in goal? No, perfectly away from Ethan Goodwin, but he's going to get a kick return. But he can't really do much with it. And at the moment, this game is very set for set. How are the fans down there, Will?
Yes, Nico, the fans tonight, like I said, there's a lot of them here. A lot of people have travelled from Bondi to witness this game in Canberra. They're a bit cold. It's a bit of a brisk night, but, that just means that certain beverages are flowing. And they're just getting amongst it here, getting behind their team.
Yeah, I think the SRL was just about the only reason someone would go from Bondi to Canberra. Not many other reasons. Maybe the NRL, I suppose, but bit of a climate difference. I know where I'd rather be as Carrigan kicks downfield. He's been tremendous this season in a losing side, and now Riley Flynn gets it, beats one. He's also been really good for the Raiders. So both teams have their players that are stepping up throughout this season, just unable to really put a consistent six plays together to sort of crack the line with any kind of regularity. And now an intercept is thrown there from the Raiders, and the Roosters are going to get their first good chance with attacking field position.
Yeah, the Raiders have been throwing everything at the Roosters so far for the last 12 minutes, and they've just not been able to penetrate the Roosters' defence. So not wanting to jinx it or anything, but that's good early signs there for Matty Harris.
Yeah, the Bondi War, of course, standing very strong at the moment. As now Buckley goes straight up the guts for a settler on fourth tackle here. The Roosters are going to have 2 touches here to make something happen. They go right out to Jasper Goodwin. He sends it out to Dan Punch. Is he going to be able to crush over? He's not. And so last tackle here, I think that's Curtin in the pocket. That's where they go. He 2 passes out to Jasper Goodwin, who kicks it, but it looks like it's a little bit shallow. Is there going to be a bat back? There's not. Ethan Goodwin comes down with it. 3rd time he's come down with the ball now, but no result there for the Roosters.
It was good pressure there from the Roosters, but the Raiders knew the attack was coming, and the kick was maybe 2 or 3 metres out of where it had to be for that bat back. But still early in the game, and it's a good thing so far for the Roosters.
Yeah, and I think it's also a bit symptomatic of 2 teams that have struggled to score points this season. Just the kicks being a little bit out of sorts, not deep enough, and then on the Raiders side, too deep. So they're just not quite nailing their 1%ers, and that's why they're sort of struggling to get over the try line throughout the season and in this game. 14 minutes scored now, yet to see a score. Is Luke Thompson going to nail a 40-20? He goes across field with a bounce here. This could come off, but it's not going to go far enough. And Marshall Edwards comes up with it, beats one. Is Eli Barnes going to take him out? No. Marshall Edwards has done very well there to stay in, and it was a good attempt from Luke Thompson, but it means the Roosters have some good field position now, and they go long to Goodwin. He comes down with the ball. Of course, he's been lurking in that 11 jersey as well throughout this season. He's been performing pretty well, but I guess Matt Harris has rung the changes after another loss last week and put himself in that 11 to see what happens. As now Goodwin goes out to Ethan Goodwin, a connection there, but he's brought down on the 40-metre line. 4th tackle for the Roosters. They're going to need a big run if they want to make something happen. And Charlie Butler goes to Carrigan to make it happen, but he's unable to go anywhere. So in position for a punt here. I think that's Jasper Goodwin on the right-hand side of the play of the ball. But instead they cut him out and go to Curtin. He goes a long way downtown to Xavier Demando. And he just finds a little bit of space, Xavier Demando, but a great tackle from Marshall Edwards to bring him down.
Yeah, Demando was looking dangerous there. He almost got around Marshall Edwards as Barnes. Give it to him. He's off down the field.
Yeah, tremendous from Eli Barnes. He knew the fullback wasn't at home, so he picked up a 65-metre break there with ease, playing it on the 25-metre line. Now Berkeley goes to Luke Thompson. And he's sat down. Great tackle there from Bruce Buckley, the youngest member of this Roosters forward pack, but he hits just as hard as the older ones. As now Wally Allen drives forward straight at Jasper Goodwin. It's been a bit of a tactic in games gone past for opposition to get at Jasper Goodwin as the rookie half learns to adapt to the rigours of defending in the SRL, but so far he's been good tonight. Fifth tackle now for the Raiders. They're going to have a chance here. I think it's a bomb. They're going straight back out to Ethan Goodwin. It's very, very well placed. A metre out from the line. They get the tap back. Eli Barnes is over. You said give it to Eli Barnes and see what happens, Anthony, and that is exactly what they've done here.
Yeah, and that was just a inch perfect kick there, right on where it needed to be, and perfect bat back there for Barnes. And yeah, you're never going to stop Barnes when he's that close to the try line.
Yeah, and we talked about how the kicks had just been a little bit off, and that was perfectly placed there. Landed a metre out from the line to draw Ethan Goodwin into the play. So when the bat back happened, he was unable to defend, and Barnes strolls over. Good early signs here for the Raiders. They've been putting in good pressure every time they've gotten to the red zone, and they've come away with points. As Luke Thompson looks to convert this and make it a 6-point game, swings it in very nicely. Will, downstairs, the crowd's happy, I assume.
I mean, you could hear them go up after that try from Eli Barnes. They love him here in Canberra, and for good reason. He's just one of the best players that they've had. Well, he probably is the best player they've had. One of the SRL great fullbacks, and just crossing the line, they always just go electric for him.
Yeah, he's a mainstay at the Raiders. Was he at the Eels for a bit, AMAC, Eli Barnes?
He was a Season 1, Season 2 Eel, and then he moved on to the green pastures, sort of mid-Season 2, Season 3 period. I think that's
the grass
all
is
before
always
my time.
greener.
All before my time, though, Snicker.
Yeah, me too. Maybe we should have been asking Will, but yeah, Eli Barnes. Caval gets a nice little break there. Eli Barnes being an absolute mainstay in this Raiders team, and it's another mainstay with the ball right now, Tim James, who it's been recently announced that he's going to be the Tigers vice captain to start the next season. So change is coming for this Raiders team, whether they like it or not. Jordan Lewis, of course, stepping down. So it's a bit of a last hurrah this season as Eli Barnes goes through again. Oh, and a great ankle tap from Marshall Edwards. Yeah, it's a last hurrah for this Raiders team, the bulk of which won the Premiership. I think it was... Oh, as Dane Blaine's going to go over the line here. Forget what I was saying. Dane Blaine, out of absolutely nowhere, punches a good hole. I think that's over.
Yeah, Dane Blaine has been one of the standout, not rookies so much, but one of the standout new centres that came over to the Raiders at the beginning of the season. He played with us at the Eels last season as a rookie, and he was absolutely fantastic, and he's continued that form really strongly here at the Raiders.
Well, yeah, he wasn't one of those Raiders I was talking about that's been there for a while, that won a comp together. And now there's going to be a bit of movement with Jordan Lewis and Tim James leaving, but the fresh blood is providing for the Raiders at the moment, and they're going to look to keep doing that all season because you only get a couple of chances in the SRL to win comps with folks that you've been with for a while, and this is it for the Raiders. So maybe that's a bit of motivation for them as that one waves past the goalpost by Luke Thompson. Maybe that's a bit of motivation as this season goes on. They know they're not going to get a chance to do it again. Captain and vice captain going. And a new captain always leads to change within a club, as we saw at the Broncos with you, Anthony. So a little bit of extra motivation for the Raiders here tonight.
Yep. And the new subs have come on. So we should see if the scoreline continues or if the Raiders can hit back and make it 3 in a row.
And of course, Liam Schrodinger, there he is. I was going to say, we don't know if he exists or if he doesn't until we observe him. And good to see him on the field from Liam Schrodinger. Nice hit up to start his SRL career. And congratulations on your debut. I hope you have a long and prosperous career. Prop primary as well, which we love to see. That's crafty from Tim James. Just ducked out a marker. Ducked out a half, sorry. Got in between the markers before he flicked one into the back. I'd almost call that cynical, but the referees have bought into it and they've given his team the penalty.
Yeah, you got to be careful with some of those things. If we had a different ref out there, he might have just ruled it as a knock-on or even blown a penalty themselves.
Yeah, if we had a referee that knows the rules, that's what we'd get. But unfortunately, we're stuck with Sonny, and that's the decision that he makes. As now, Luke Thompson, they're going the inside ball. It never works, and Marlon Carrigan's away now into the backfield. Carrigan, he picks up a good 30 metres there off that, and the Roosters are on the attack here. Out of nowhere, they've picked up the intercept, and now Blair Curtin straight through a hole. Blair Curtin for the line. No, Blair Curtin, he offloads straight to Alan Berkeley. Hot potato with the ball here, and it seems like neither of these teams want it.
You'd almost say the footy gods. As Lewis walks off down the field.
Oh, the ball, Lewis.
I was almost about to say that the footy gods and the karma kind of saved
righted their wrongs
for a little bit, and then Curtin had to throw it back, and here we are again with the Raiders getting the 4th over the 40.
Yeah, and it's almost like they just got a little restart on their setters. Now, oh, Lucy Driscoll is sat down. Who's put her in the front row? That is not the position that I would have that player in, but of course, I'm not the Raiders captain, and we've seen what's happened to her just there. As now Edwards takes a hit up, and they're going to have to start that set 15 metres out from the line, and hopefully they can complete one here, because it's been a while for the Roosters, and I think if they want to get back in this game, going set for set with the Raiders is the way to start.
Yep, and they've gone good so far. It's mostly the backs running it up, and we're going to have a nice... No, Ethan Goodwin just couldn't get around the outside defence there, so it looks like the Roosters are going to have a punt kick at the end of this one, Snicko.
Yeah, and I was the same as you. I thought Ethan Goodwin for all money was away there, but great tackle by Riley Flynn there to bring him down. And it's resulted in this kick here. It's going to be Blair Curtin down a very skinny short side, but he puts it well. And Riley Flynn now, after that good defence, he's going to come down. Is he going to go out, Riley Flynn? Wow, he stays in. Oh, he goes out. There must have been millimetres in that. I think the ruling is, once the tackle's completed, you're allowed to go out, but I guess he was still squirming in the tackle here.
Yep, and this replay is going to show it very well. We'll see what part of Riley Flynn went out. And
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think that tackle's completed. Anyway, the Roosters have the ball now in attacking position once again. This is their third foray down there. They're going to have to look to come up with something soon, because there's only so many times you can get repelled from a line before you start to think that you might not score at all. As now Goodwin gets it. He's rushed at by the Raiders defence there, brought down 2 metres from the line. They go short again to Carrigan. He goes forward, very forward out to Dolan. And I wouldn't say they dodged a bullet, the Raiders, because I don't think that the Roosters fired a shot there.
No, you can see the desperation out there right now from the Roosters. They had the chance, but there was a bit too much one-upmanship and not enough spreading the ball.
Koval to Thompson. He's straight down the middle. Koval broke 2 tackles there before he got the offload. And you're right, too much showmanship from the Roosters, and they don't want to do the hard yards. And the hardest part of rugby league is making tackles, and that's what they're failing at the moment. As now Lewis, he's brought down by Carrigan. The 213s come together, and no one's a real winner there except for us in the commentary boxes. Now Koval goes inside to Eli Barnes. He's brought down in a 3-man tackle there. The Roosters know he's a danger man, but the Raiders in good field position here. 4th tackle, they go right one more time. Berkeley turns it inside to Jordan Lewis. He can't get the fend working. Instead, he's going to be bringing it down 15 metres away from the line. Shaping up for a bomb kick here, the Raiders. And that's where they go. Straight to Luke Thompson. He goes high. And it looks like it might come down in the goals. It does. So once again, just a metre too deep there from Thompson. And the Roosters get yet another 7-tackle set.
Yeah, hopefully the Roosters can capitalise on this one. There was a good attempt there from the Raiders, but just a little bit too slow from some of those bench forwards trying to get there.
Yeah, the kick is a touch too deep, and the forward's not quite able to get there. I think that's the story. It's now Tue, and he plays it. He goes to Kurt. Now DeMarsh Edwards, a long ball out to Ethan Goodwin, and I thought we were going to see some fancy footwork there, but he kept the dancing shoes in the back pocket with a regulation hit up, and now he goes to Curtin again, and he goes short ball to Matt Harris. I like to see a line break from Matt Harris soon. We've seen Wally Allen have a bit of an impact. Yet to see the same from the Roosters captain, as now Curtin gets it deep in the pocket. Not really able to go anywhere because the rest of his team was in front of him, so instead he takes the hit up. And now the Roosters go left again to Harris. And I thought that was a line break I've been asking for, but instead, once again, the Roosters kicking it from about that 40-metre line. They've been good on the kick chase defence all night. We'll have to see what they can do this time, as it's the big X. He's really good there, and he's straight past one. Marshall Edwards, though, gets him, and I think that's a good result for the Roosters.
Yeah, they didn't quite get as far downfield as they would have liked from a 7-tackle set, but if you can keep Demando from running off down and kind of try to keep the Raiders in their side of the half, they might be able to get another attacking set before the end of the half.
Yeah, and I think the issue for them is just getting down to the other end of the field. Their forwards are not quite making the meters you'd want. Schrodinger takes another good hit up there. At the moment, the Raiders are just slightly winning this forward battle, and unfortunately it means that the Roosters aren't getting any good field position unless, of course, the Raiders get a bit pass happy and throw the intercept. But maybe this kick return could do something for them. As Alan Berkeley goes down to Ethan Goulden, a very good kick puts him in the corner. Riley Flynn and Dane Blaine on the chase, and Dane Blaine gets him first time round. He's been really good in attack this year, Dane Blaine, and I think his defence is starting to catch up because Ethan Goulden, not an easy man to tackle, and he doubles up there, I think, on Marshall Edwards. So come out with a bit of a purpose here.
Yeah, we all know that the centres, the defence is always not lacking so much, but it's quite easy to get around a centre here and there. And if you can find a centre like Dane Blaine, whose defence can really hold up over on those edges, you're a long way to winning a game there.
Yeah, I think I'd actually love to be a centre because defence is optional for him. It's a great kick there from, I think it's Mellor who kicked it, and it's going to be a 40-20. Yeah, there or thereabouts. Eli Barnes unable to keep that ball in play. Mellor just slotting in from left centre to get a touch of the ball. We haven't seen him have it at all. And for the second time tonight, the Raiders have taken it over the sideline.
Yeah, not the person I thought was going to kick a 40-20, but
Not at all.
God, that was a beautiful kick from Mellor. Maybe he should slot
Very,
into the
very
half
good.
position.
Yeah, maybe you should. The second rower who plays in the centres, put him in the halfback. Because now Matt Harris, is he going to push over from there? No, he just finds his front out from the line. This is it for the Roosters. They're going to have to make amends here. And they go short ball straight away. Could have been no, Mellor. I thought he was over the line, but Dane Blaine gets his man again. Second tackle already here for the Roosters. They go right out to Carrigan. He goes to Jasper Goodwin. Wow, a great tackle there from the Raiders, driving him backwards. That's 3 times I thought there's been a try, but they haven't scored. And now he goes to Curtin. Is he going to be the one to push over? No, turned on his back. 2 tackles here for the Roosters. They have to go over, surely. They go right to Goodwin, and he knocks it on. Wow, the Raiders' defence is exceptional tonight.
Again, you saw that desperation there from the Roosters. They kept passing and passing and passing, and well, fumbled it when they saw they weren't able to get around the Raiders there.
Yeah, I just don't know what the video sessions have been at the Roosters so far, because it looks like the Raiders have all the answers at the moment as Lucy Driscoll takes another hit up. I just don't quite understand how they didn't score there. 3 times I thought they were going to find their front, and 3 times they were driven backwards. As now Dane Blaine gets involved through the middle, and that's a nice line break for him. Takes the Raiders to the 45-metre line or thereabouts. I just think that in this half, the Roosters have almost had the better field position just with the errors that the Raiders have made, and with the way that the SRL swings in second halves, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't really get there in the second half and it ends up with the Raiders having all the field position. And if that happens, it could be curtains for this Roosters team and curtains for their season if it's not already there. I'm actually not up to date on the ladder predictions. Will, on the sideline, are you able to pull up the ladder for us and tell us if the Roosters are mathematically out of contention yet?
Yes, Nico, as of last week, the Roosters are unable to make finals. The Raiders, still a mathematical chance, but as you know, probability and chance are a little bit different.
Yeah, and more importantly, statistics are not real. So the Raiders still with a good chance of making the finals here if they can just win every game from here on out. Whereas, as we just found out, and perhaps we found out last week and I wasn't paying attention, the Roosters are mathematically eliminated. And now it's 5th tackle here for this Roosters team. They go to Carrigan, and they've decided kicking isn't the way for them tonight, so he takes the hit up instead.
Yeah, they needed to try a kick there. They needed to try something because going into half-time, 10-0 down is going to be a bit of a culture shock there for the Roosters.
Or perhaps, unfortunately, they're a bit used to it this season, and so maybe they know this is the game the comeback's going to work. 3rd time's a charm, or rather 9th time's a charm for this Roosters team.
Well, yeah, they like to say that the footy gods eventually grace you with a game where you can win, so it might be the Roosters' night tonight. The Raiders won last week. Maybe it is the Roosters' turn.
Yeah, unfortunately, from what I've seen of the Roosters, the footy gods have graced them with a lot of games they could win. They just haven't quite been able to get it done, which is unfortunate for them and for the SRL, really, because we like to see everyone be competitive. But nonetheless, the Raiders have a job to do here tonight, and the Roosters are out to be spoilers on the Raiders as Ethan Goodwin gets another good little line break there, and Dane Blaine missed his first tackle of the night, it feels like. 30 seconds here left for the Roosters. They're going to have to go the length of the field in about 2 plays. I don't quite see it happening, despite the strike power that the Roosters have. With 7 seconds to go here, you think that'll be game as Matthew Harris takes the last one for the half, and the Canberra Raiders go into half-time 10-0 ladder leaders. Hello and welcome back. I hope you all had a great halftime break. I know we did here in the box. We're back here to watch the Raiders. They're up 10-0 against the Roosters, and it's been a shutout so far. Do you see that continuing, Anthony, or what's your take on this second half?
I'd like to think that the Roosters have come out firing and able to, if not narrow the lead, then take it over and and get their second win of the game. But from what we've seen so far in the first half, the Raiders are just putting a bit too much out there for the Roosters to get over.
And we did see some interesting positional swaps at halftime. I wasn't quite able to catch them all, but luckily our man on the sideline, Will Kay, was listening in on the radio. What's going on here for both teams, Will?
Yeah, the message at halftime for the Roosters, it was kick into gear. You know, they've only got one win this season, and if they could overcome a side like the Raiders, it would do a whole lot of good for their confidence. For the Raiders, it was very similar to just keeping the momentum going. You know, they've got 10 points up. They had good momentum in that, you know, that short period where they scored those first tries. They need to get some momentum going and just keep it going.
That's all very well and interesting, but I actually asked about the subs, so could you fill me in on that as well, please?
Oh, sorry. I think that was a bit of a misconnection.
Static.
Bit of static. It was Preston Beats on for Justice Daly. For the centre position swap from memory, it was... Oh, sorry. It was Lightning McQueen on for... Well, eventually Harry Cheddar after Tim James swapped out to lock and Jordan Lewis swapped to prop. And then, of course, for the Roosters, it's a little bit more complicated. There's Marshall Edwards and Weston swapping. Weston now at fullback with Matthew Harris now going to prop. Brad Goodwin to second row. Ralph going into the second row on the right side. Jensen on for Dolan into the centres. And Nicholas Ether on for Bruce Buckley in the front row.
Right, I'm not going to pretend to understand that, but it seems like the Roosters are coming with a plan here. Yeah, they're coming with a plan. Me and AMAC tipped Ethan Good were going to win, but it's actually Tyler Weston. And maybe that's a good play because he had all of 4 run meters in the first half. So he's going to be very fresh for this second 40 minutes. And maybe he could be the key here to sparking as Jasper Goodwin, or this could be a crossbar kick, puts up a very nice bomb here. No, instead it's Eli Barnes who takes it. And he's, wow, that must be inches out from his goal line. Maybe 6 at best. As now Alan Berkeley gets and goes out to Tim James, who, like Will mentioned, is in the lock position. So he's decided he wants to cook here. And we'll have to see if he can. Of course, not everyone can transition successfully into a lock position from hooker, although you'd think the positions are pretty similar. Not quite the case here. So he's going to have 25 minutes to show what he can do as Nakaval takes it up. I heard an inkling that his allegiances may or may not be swapping. So this could be a potential audition for wherever he ends up. A bit of versatility for him in the international game. But of course, I could have just been misinformed. He's going to stay with Pacific here anyway. As now Tyler Weston gets a little line break. Maybe that could be the play, AMAC. Weston to fullback to bring a bit of fire into this Roosters attack.
Yeah, Weston. They tried Weston at fullback earlier in the season, and he had some fairly good touches, but they still couldn't get any wins out of him. So he unfortunately transitioned back onto the wing. So we'll see if he has learnt anything throughout the season. Something on Tim. We're all hoping valiantly that Tim's going to get over in the next 25 minutes before he goes off, because that Muzbet is looking pretty juicy.
Yeah, I actually disavowed gambling after Muzbet took all my coins a couple of weeks in a row. So I'm going to be watching this one from the sideline, luckily, because at the moment, both teams are playing well within the either side's 20-metre line. Not quite really getting into attacking territory, but this could help you from Demando. The little offload to Wally Allen, and they're going to have 3 tackles maybe to put something on here, maybe just 1 depending on this run. Lightning McQueen goes to Tim James. There's your man AMAC. Brought down 20 metres out. I was going to say, Tyler Weston had a few good games to start the season at fullback. A little knock on from Preston Beats, perhaps not. And then he had an absolute nightmare one game where he just could not catch the ball and Matt Harris flicked him. So interesting that they've gone back to him. They do say Insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And unfortunately, Eli Barnes goes over again. Insanity is giving Eli Barnes the ball and expecting him not to score because he is way too good at that. Close to the line, the Raiders get their first chance, and I think this could be enough scoring from them because I have a little 9-18 bet on them. Enough's enough here for the Raiders, but just like that, they're 3 tries in the lead.
Yep, another inch perfect kick there. Tap it back to Barnes. Barnes almost was held out, but he was just strong enough to get the arm out and rub it with a little bit of chalk there. So there we go. We may be 16-0 after 50 minutes.
Yeah, pending a kick from Luke Thompson. This is just about where he slotted another one from earlier in the game. He's going to go for a big left-to-right curve here. And he has just missed it to the left. not enough bend on that one from Luke Thompson. And so the Roosters, they know it's only 14 points here. Despite being 3 tries down, the wayward kicking of Luke Thompson has kept them in this game as Jasper Goodwin's going to get us underway. But if they don't strike soon, I fear it could be too little too late because the Raiders, it seems like every time they get down to the Roosters line, they find a way to get over it.
Yep, it's almost panic buttons here for the Roosters. They need to be the next people to score because if they are not, then it's basically all home for Raiders and no chance of clawing back this one.
Yeah, I think if they're not the next team to score, forget the panic button. They need to hit the eject button on this game and just try and get out of it with something because 14-0 down, yet to get over the try line. And that was a very long time in the tackle there. I'm surprised there wasn't a penalty. But yeah, yet to get over the try line despite numerous attempts. Raiders have just bossed them through the middle. And this isn't a top-tier SRL team, the Raiders. At the moment, they're still mid-table. So not good signs for the Roosters. I'm not sure who they have in their run home. Perhaps we can get Will to check that later on. But I think in the SRL, we all want them to get another win or two just to close out their season with a bit of positivity. But if they can't get over the Raiders in this game, I'm not sure where that win could come from.
Yeah, I know we Broncos, we versed them in week 12, I think. So hopefully they don't get it over us that week. I'm just quickly checking the fixtures, and I'll get back to you in a second.
Yeah, no worries. As Marshall Edwards off the wing now, he comes in for a hit up. He's used to those fullback meters and doesn't want to just be wasted out there as Charlie Butler now gets in. He's driven back in a great tackle. They could write a documentary on Charlie Butler and his time in the SRL. He's certainly had some up and downs, and I guess we're just waiting for him to ride that roller coaster back up to the top. Because on his day, he's a very, very class player. He started in the halves for New South Wales this season, but he's just fallen away slightly. And this is a very brave kick here from the Roosters. Instead, it's Barnes, and Barnes is away here with the goose step. But a great tackle is Jasper Goodwin in cover defence, saves almost a certain try there. Have you seen that fixtures list yet, Mac?
Yep, so Roosters' ride home is Manly, followed by Broncos,
Tough.
Followed by Titans.
Tough. Ooh. Yeah, so 3 tough games. I think that Manly just about top 4. I'm not sure where they sit following this week's games.
Yeah, they snuck into the top 4 last week, so that'll be a tough one.
And then, Titans who have, I would say, underachieved. And then Broncos who are fighting for an 8 spot, so there's no way they're giving up an easy win here. I think Broncos and Titans are in a bit of a same spot where they're going to really be going for that 7th or 8th spot here and sneak into semis and do some damages. Oh, we see an injury there. It's going to be the captain, Jordan Lewis. Wow, he's in a lot of pain here, Jordan Lewis. We've just seen the stretcher come on to wheel him off, and I think he was at prop, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's going to throw the Raiders' substitutions all out of whack here.
No, you don't like to see that sort of fight. A meniscus tear is a painful, painful thing. And Jordan Lewis still had ages of time left on the field. So this is going to be a hell of a...
another 40-20 from the Roosters.
Roosters capitalised straight away.
Yeah, I'm no doctor, but I think the meniscus tear normally takes a week or so to recover. So Jordan Lewis will be missing next week, and he'll be back the round thereafter. So I guess the Raiders really want to make that semis if they want to get more games out of Jordan Lewis, knowing that he misses the next one. As now Charlie Butler goes to Code. They're going to go inside ball here. No, they're not. Carrigan brought down a good tackle there. A couple of metres from the line here. This has got to be it for the Roosters. They have to score soon. It's going to be Brad Goodwin. Can he push over? He can. Brad Goodwin for the line. He's back in that left second row position, and he's scoring tries just like he's done all season.
Now, I don't want to say that the Roosters have gone out there and injured Jordan Lewis so they can have a bit of an advantage, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, it's awfully convenient timing, isn't it, from the Roosters?
Yep. And Raiders, they're up against the Panthers next week, who are in a similar situation, trying to claw their way out of the bottom. So that is going to be a tricky substitution they're going to have to make there.
Yeah, especially after the Raiders. The Panthers this week are without Cody Mansour, who injured his neck last week. So I guess if anyone's to understand how the Raiders will feel next week, it's their opposition. But back onto this game, and the Roosters have found themselves just only 8 points behind here after being comfortably accounted for the first 55 minutes. They score 1 try, and because of the wayward kicking of the Raiders, they're definitely not out of it yet here. I can feel a bit of tension rippling through the crowd. Will, you're down there. Is that what it feels like?
Yeah, it's a bit weird down here, to be honest, Snicko. The Raiders fans have gone real quiet since Jordan Lewis was quickly brought off the field. We'll have more on him shortly, but he's gone straight to the sheds to be treated. Yeah, they've gone quiet, especially after the try, after the 40-20. It looks like the Roosters fans are just getting up a little bit now, just getting a bit talkative and a bit chirpy, and the Raiders fans are not being appreciative.
Yeah, and why would they be? This is their home game, and the nerve of the Roosters fans to travel to Canberra is just unheard of. But it looks like it's making a difference for this Roosters team. They've sort of picked it up the last couple of minutes. The great kick from Jasper Goodwin into the try by relative Brad Goodwin. And so maybe this could be a chance here for the Roosters just to salvage a bit of hope for this season. As Carrigan, he knows he doesn't have long left on the field, so he gets a little line break there. And a good set after point there for the Roosters. 43 metres gain. They're going to get a good kick here. It's Blair Curtin who goes downfield. Riley Flynn gets it. He beats one. Riley Flynn's away here. Oh, he did the little in and away, but well counted there by Tyler Weston.
Yeah, Tyler Weston might not have had a good game, but he's got a great defence for him. So I think with them out the back there, Matty Harris can sleep a little bit more easy, that they could find themselves back into this game.
Yeah, he's just got that little bit of surety about him, doesn't he, at the back? You don't often see him turn inside out or hitting the big Superman dive, and now Preston Beats takes a hit up. And he's going to play about 49 metres out from the line. He's tall timber, that Preston Beats, but the bigger they are, the harder they fall, as he's found out just there. And now Eli Barnes is going to play it, and it looks like the Roosters are just starting to win this forward battle. Of course, the subs here could be anything. And I suppose we'll find out, as I think that's Liam Schrodinger's come back on the field, and Ethan Goodwin gets a little break there. So with Jordan Lewis going off, it's brought Liam Schrodinger back on the field, which is not what we expected to see. He's there making the, he was trying to make the tackle, the man in the white headgear. So the rookie's going to have to play big minutes here, Mac.
Yeah, that's either going to be a good thing for the rookie to really show that he can stay on the field and prove worthy for an SRL team for next season, or it's something for the Roosters to exploit.
Yeah, and the poor guy's just missed 2 tackles in a row there, so the Roosters have picked him out immediately. And now it's Curtin going down the short side to Weston, and Eli Barnes is there in cover, but they get the offload away. Brad Goodwin's brought down metres from the 10-metre line. This is a chance for a good kick here. They're shaping up like Blair Curtin wants to put it high. And that's what he does. Oh, this could be goalpost. Eli Barnes is underneath it. And Tyler Weston takes it, but he's going to be pushed out backwards there. Wow, great defence from the Raiders.
Yeah, great defence from the Raiders, but some really enterprising play there from the Roosters. You can tell that before the Lewis injury, before the try they just had, they were a little bit despondent, a little bit down and out, but now they've really turned it up.
Yeah, big moments need big players, and that's what Eli Barnes is, and he's proved it there. So now, there he is again, just making a mockery out of one of the defenders, Charlie Butler. But 2 more jump on him to make that tackle, and they just can't seem to find their meters at the moment. Wally Allen driven backwards there by Jimmy Ralph and the man who replaced him, Jasper Goodwin. So maybe a 40-20 here? No, yes. Luke Thompson goes way downtown. Not the 40-20, but a good driving kick. If this sits up, as it has, and a good kick chase here from the Raiders could turn this into a great result, but instead they let him out to about the 18-metre mark.
Yep, I almost thought he was going to get around Barnes there, except he was pulled down from behind, so that was some really good defence there from the Raiders.
Yeah, they knew that he was a danger man, Tyler Weston. He's been like that all night as Bruce Buckley's now driven backwards. Going to be really interesting to see who comes on at lock for the Raiders. With Jordan Lewis not being able to play that 55-minute lock stint, we'll see it in about half a minute. Lock, as we know, is a vital position in the SRL, and with Tim James going off, they're going to need a big tackler in there as the Roosters go out to Jasper Goodwin. And he's only made some good post-contact meters there, so he ended up making about 8 meters. And now it's a chance for Carrigan to kick. That's his last involvement of the game as he runs off field now. Wow, Xavier Demando doesn't want to borrow that. And wow, it just goes into touch. Of course, he's a lot closer to the ball there, Demando. And just like he's really hesitant to spend his coins, he didn't want to touch that ball.
I almost thought he was going to pick that up and take it out by accident, but that ball just got there. Yeah,
that beautiful orange ball that we've recently have added to the SRL on account of some of our favourite sponsors. Touches the paint just by a smidge. Now Luke Thompson goes to Tim James, and he hasn't subbed here, so maybe without Jordan Lewis to come back on, he'll play the full 40. I don't have a whole lot of experience with injuries and subs, Will, you're on the sideline. What's the talk? Is he going to be replaced Tim James or is he staying on?
No, I believe you're right, Snicko. Tim James is likely to stay on. The early substitute of Jordan Lewis, he would have been the one coming back on at lock for that final 15 minutes. The Raiders staff just decided to leave Tim James on. He's got the fitness, he's got the durability, so they reckon just let him have a crack. And
ooh. Speaking of crack, that's what's starting to appear in this Raiders team. Their leadership's gone off the field in Jordan Lewis, so it's up to Tim James to stand up. And at the moment, I think he's parking himself down on a bench somewhere. And they're going to need him here to stand up and get off that bench and start putting in work because Matt Harris is back on the field in lock position. It's going to be him up against Tim James. Look at him there. The size difference is huge. The Raiders need something here. The Roosters are coming home with a wet sail. 13 minutes to go here. 8 points in this game. It's anyone's game still as Charlie Butler gets it. And he's going to drive for the line here, but brought down a couple of meters out. Third tackle for the Roosters. They go left one more time. It goes to Justin Dolan. Black on in the prop jersey. Flipped on his back with a little bit of judo from the Raiders. Sonny Tyre, don't waste our time.
Yeah, I think Sonny Tyre might just have some bets on. He's trying to slow it down just a little bit to try to give the Raiders some time to reset the defence.
Yeah, and I need 2 points out of the Raiders, so I don't mind that. Now fourth tackle for the Roosters. They go to Jasper Gould. He turns one inside to Jensen. He's driven backwards there. Good to see him touch the ball. I think that's his first touch of the game so far. A chance for a good kick here from the Roosters. They 2-pass out. Matt Harris's big head gets in the way, and another bungled finish to that set.
Yeah, you'd think that that's probably one of the very few chances the Roosters are going to get now as Wally Allen works his way up the field quite easily there.
Yeah, that's the old get out of jail free card there from Wally Allen. Matt Harris used to have the Avatar The Last Airbender tattoos on his head. He just needs to airbend that ball away from him straight into the hands of Jasper Goodwin so they could get the kick away, but unfortunately unable to do so. As now Xavier Demando beats one, brought down from behind in a suspect tackle from Jasper Goodwin. I thought his legs swung under there for a bit of damage, but Demando gets back up as now Lightning McQueen gets it. Couldn't tell you what position he's playing, but he's had a lot of touches so far in this game. They now go to Luke Thompson. He goes out to Tim James, still on the field, potentially getting a bit tired, not used to doing this much running. Fifth tackle here for the Raiders. I think they're going to have to punt just on the threshold of the bomb. And it goes to Cavall instead, and he's just going to work down the short line. So back-to-back incomplete sets here for both teams. Can someone take a hold of this game and show us what it means to win an SRL game?
I don't think the Raiders will be too upset by it. At least it nullifies the kick return try and keeps the Raiders, the Roosters down this end of the field. But they really need to stop some of that Roosters ball offloading because they are coming quickly.
Yeah, they certainly are. That's third tackle here, and they're already about 30 metres out from the line. A nice line back from Jasper Goodwin. A bit of a swerve there to find some space. And now he goes out to Blair Curtin, and unfortunately he can't replicate what Jasper Goodwin's done on the other side, but he still pushes forward for a good couple of metres here. I think it's time for either him or Jasper Goodwin to step up. They're going to be in grubber territory following this kick. Well, they would have been if Buckley didn't get folded in that tackle. So instead it's going to be a bomb here. Charlie Butler looks right. He goes left instead. Blair Curtin, he does put in the grubber after all, and Schrodinger's there to pick it up because, as it turns out, it was a drop ball from Blair Curtin, and I think that could be Blair Curtin's on this game.
Yeah, with 8 minutes left to go, 8 points, you start to think that unless the Roosters can put 2 back-to-back straight away, that's lights out. Roosters over.
Yeah, an unfortunate result here for the Roosters, but I would selfishly like the Raiders to get one here because I do need my coins here, especially with the salary cap about to freeze. It's time for me to invest some bulk SRL coins into my player as now Berkeley takes a hit up. It could be the difference in a lot of teams going into finals, these tips, as Tim James now gets a line break, and he has another 15 minutes to score this try that you talked about, AMAC, of course. Now that he's on the field, maybe he had the sniper in the stands to take out Jordan Lewis to repay some of this Musbat faith. As the bomb comes through, it's Tim James chasing it actually, but instead it's Justin Dolan down with it. And an ankle tap from Eli Barn brings him down 19 metres out from his own line.
Yep. So the Roosters, they got to get down the other end of the field, just like Matty Harris is right now. And they got to score, and then they got to turn around and do it again. But they've got less than 6 minutes to go. So they need to do it 2 minutes ago, really.
Yeah, they've told the drummer to up the tempo here, the Roosters, and it looks like they're playing along accordingly. But they still need to get a good finish to the set. They turned it over just about 20 metres out from the line. They've made good metres here. Bruce Buckley takes the final hit up of the set, but just not quite close enough to put in a real good kick here. So we'll have to see what they do. He goes to Curtin, and he's going to punt downfield to Demando. They're going to have to put him in this corner if they want any result in this game, and that's what they do. A great tackle there by the Roosters. But still, they need to force a turnover here. And Matt Harris, wait, he's not in the props. They need a Justin Dolan big hit. They need something here. They don't need Eli Barnes to slice through like that. Somehow they need to force a turnover, the Roosters. He goes to Luke Thompson, and he goes to Liam Schrodinger, and he goes straight past one. Liam Schrodinger on debut, making a name for himself in the SRL. And just like that, the Raiders are out of danger. And just like they have done all game, they're just slowly but surely marching their way to victory.
Yeah, the Raiders have really shown themselves to be a class act for the end of this game. They had a little bit of a scare put into them with the Roosters try earlier with the Lewis injury, but they've regathered and they are closing this out well.
Yeah, wow. Eli Barnes goes to Superman dive. We say closing this out well. We have a game on our hands right now. Ethan Goodwin is going to go the length of the field. He puts it down under the black dot. There's no way they can miss this kick here. So there's going to be a 2 points in this with 3 minutes left to go in this game. Forget the commentator's curse. I think Amax just pulled out the voodoo doll of the Raiders and chopped its head off.
Yeah, talk about open mouth, insert foot. Ethan Goodwin heard me and said, you know what, screw you, Amac. I'm off and I'm doing this myself.
Yeah, and we talked about putting him at fullback to get those kick returns in this game, and he's decided he can do it from the wing instead. So a lot of pressure now on the brother Jasper. He's right in front of the post though, so you got to think this is going to go straight over. And it does. Heads for the Harvey Norman sign in the background. A fan catches it. Ethan Goodwin fist pumps. 2.5 minutes to go here. They're going to get one set, the Roosters. One set here. Death or glory.
Who do you give it to, Snicko? Who takes it up?
It's got to be Matt Harris. He's back at lock. Get the big fend going, and then you can get Tyler Weston's a fullback now off the back of it. The double line break's crucial here. That's what I think they need to take Eli Barnes out of play. So yeah, one from Dolan, then a line break from Harris, and then Tyler Weston to finish it up. But this would probably not be my call to go to the slow prop second row, but they're just biding their time here, getting a bit closer to the line. Now Goodwin goes right again. He goes to Curtin. He goes to Harris, but he can't get the line break. He's going to be brought down 45 metres out from his own line here. This is the play here for the Roosters. They go to Josh Jensen, and he's driven backwards in a good tackle himself. So the Raiders, I think they might have won it here with this set. They go right one more time. Charlie Butler goes to Goodwin. He turns it inside to Weston. And that'll be all she wrote here. A meek finish from the Roosters. They made a game of it late, but unfortunately unable to really get anything going unless something crazy happens here on this kick. As it goes straight to Xavier Demando, Jasper Goodwin brings him down. With 20 seconds left in this game, I think the Bondi Battlers are going to let another one slip here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Matty Harris will be wondering what happened here, where his team went. There was about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes where the Roosters turned up tonight, and it might be against the Raiders, but that's not what you can do. You got to put in at least a 70, 80-minute performance.
That's exactly right here as the Raiders run out. Well-deserved 14-12 winners in a match that got a lot closer than a lot of us, including me, thought it would at half-time. As we're going to look at some stats here. Yeah, 3 tries to do, 50% possession. That feels about right. 8 errors by the Roosters. So that's the big stat. Double the errors of the Raiders team. Tackles pretty much the same as our missed tackles and line breaks. So I think that's it. The big error count from the Roosters cost them here as we flick over to some individual statistics. And it's Tim James, of course. He played 40 at hooker, so we can't really know just how good that run total is. But Eli Barnes, 181. 29 tackles from Tim James is great, as is 26 from Jordan Lewis in just 55 minutes. As well as 136 metres, but most importantly, the injury to Jordan Lewis. Just how crucial will that be next week, Anthony?
Well, Jordan Lewis is their captain, and he's also their starting lock. And it's one thing if you lose a prop or if you lose a centre, but if you're losing someone of Thompson's calibre, those are some very hard shoes to fill.
Yeah, I guess it'll be up to Tim James to step up next week. Some good kick meters as well from both Luke Thompson and Alan Berkeley. And I thought Alan Berkeley was underratedly well here in that 7, controlling that game as we flick over to the Roosters. And we see Ethan Goodwin, 222 metres from the wing, 7 line breaks, and the try. That's a pretty good performance from him. Maybe a fullback jersey is in the sniffing next week. Charlie Butler made 28 tackles, which is pretty handy, as is 25 from Milo to go with his 170 metres. We'll try and find Tyler Weston, 141 metres. So he ran for 140 metres in the second half after just his 4-metre first half. So maybe Marshall Edwards is going to be a bit nervous about holding on to this fullback jersey for the season yet to come. Jimmy Ralph came on into that right second row as well and made a fair few tackles, but unable to really get going with that 95 speed. Anything interesting you'd like to point out, Anthony?
Well, the only people to score for the Roosters tonight were the Goodwin triples. Ethan Goodwin scoring a try, Brad Goodwin scoring a try, and Jasper Goodwin converting.
Kicking 2 goals, yeah.
Yeah, if we could get more Goodwins on the Roosters, we can get more points out of them.
Yeah, perhaps add another Goodwin and then the Roosters could actually have a good win for once this season. Been few and far per team for this poor team. Anyway, I think that's all we have time for. Monday Night Football wrapped up for yet another week. Only 3 more to go in this season as the finals race is really heating up. I am Snicko Bro. We heard snippets from Will K on the sideline, and of course Anthony McDonald was alongside me for the bulk of the ride. Good night and up the Dolphins.